Hey guys, it's time once again for the Digital Demons podcast. This is episode 11. Welcome to the show. We're here once again, man. We made it past episode 10, and we are moved on. We're officially in double digits now, so pretty stoked about that, actually. This week, I don't know. It's been a little bit of a tricky one. Just got a lot of nerves, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. It seems like got a lot to plan for the end of the month. Have another long trip coming up. Not really looking forward to it. Being away from home, but it's just one of those things. You do what you got to do, and so just been prepping for that. Having to figure stuff out here around the house and get stuff taken care of, and just kind of trying to focus a little more and just keep my cool and not so much let myself really stress out too much. I find myself, like I've said before, stress not really easy, but I'm trying to keep that anxiety to a low. And let me just tell you, the fucking airplane stories that have been coming out, not doing me any favors. You guys have seen, I'm sure, the plane that was going from I think it was Frisco to Japan or something like that, lost a wheel on takeoff. There was another one in Texas. I think there was two in Texas. I might be mistaken, but at least one in Texas that had skidded off the runway, and then there was another one that lost an engine. I think that was either in Texas or Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just some more air incidents that make me relatively uneasy when it comes to flying and such like that. So I'm hoping that this one isn't really anything like that, because that would be terrible if your boy was on some shit like that. So let's just keep those positive vibes up when I take to the skies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this week has been pretty radical. Like I said, have a lot going on, and just trying to keep my composure. We did vote in the primary though on Tuesday, Super Tuesday, which was cool. I never actually have voted in the primary before. I usually do the every 4 years presidential voting with that, but this year was kind of a little special. Kayla actually got involved, which was cool, and she was like really excited to vote, which is definitely awesome, because people need to get out and vote. Like I always say, they always need to vote, whether it's in the primary or the presidential election. And I always say, if you don't vote, don't fucking complain. That's your opportunity to kind of voice your opinion on where things stand. So if you're not exercising your rights, then I really don't want to fucking hear you complaining about the state of the world or the country and stuff if you're not in there, speaking your piece, or at least sending your vote in. But a little bit of a side note: when we went to vote on Tuesday, and I go up and get my documents, whatever, real easy. Kayla went up, and the lady was asking her, what party she was affiliated with, and I'm looking at her like, why is she asking you that? And she pulls up this little like iPad thing, and the lady was showing her like, there's these choices right here. These are what you can choose from. And she's like, babe, look at this real quick. It's weird. There's not a choice for, there's not a choice to be put down as Republican. And so I'm like, what the fuck? So I go over to this tablet, and she like flips it around, and I'm looking at it, and they were only able to let her like vote as being registered as part of it was American Independent Party, Democratic Party, of course, or Libertarian. There was absolutely no choice for Republican Party at all, which I found to be pretty weird. So I looked on the little registration tablet, and it was completely absent. So I told her to like just basically drop everything that she was like getting into right there and just re-register like on the spot so she could vote how she wanted to. And if she didn't do that and she elected to keep the choices that were on the tablet, she wouldn't be able to vote in the primary, which I found to be absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's crazy, dude. Like I was like, how can she not vote how she wants to? She has to pick, a party to be a part of just to vote in the primary. If you if you select one of the three options that they have on the tablet there. So she re-registered and stuff, and I hung out and stuff, waiting for her to do her thing. And I was kind of just like, this is the most odd shit. Like they told her like verbatim, like if she registers later on after she votes, this time she wouldn't be able to vote in the primary. And so I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? So anyways, she changed all her shit over. She's all good now. She was able to vote that night, and she changed all of her stuff over. But it was crazy because I was scrolling through X, and I saw a video where a woman was saying that California sent out these notices to people by mail, and it did the same thing. It only let them register as those three options. And she was explaining that she had called and spoke to like a county representative that had told her basically, if you've gone to the DMV and you've changed like any of your info for like legal reasons or whatever, and you didn't fill out the registration or like the registration area to vote, you would basically have to re-register as a Republican in order to get a ballot in general. So they're not sending out the ballots to anyone that has changed their info but is still on the Republican side of the fence, which is insane. And it's kind of troubling because they rely so heavily on the mail-in ballots that they're not allowing you to pick that party, and it's not even there. It's basically, like I said before, it's just the American Independent Party, Democrat Party, or the Libertarian Party on these notices. And so people are having to go and fix all their info in order to just get a ballot, which I don't understand. They should just give everybody the option to pick what they want to pick, and that should be the end of it, So basically, if you're not, if you don't separately register like beforehand, before the election or whatever, you're going to get lumped into basically just those three choices, and you're probably going to get just predetermined into one of them, and you're not going to get to vote if you choose to vote that way in the upcoming election, which is kind of fucked. And it's just another way that California is choosing basically who has a voice. So if you aren't registered correctly and plan on voting in November this year for the presidential election, go check your party choice. Go check your status. Make sure you're still registered, because they're not going to send you out anything. You're like, go register to vote. They'll tell you on your social media and all that shit, but they won't give you the details because that's not how they run things. They just want to tally up the votes on their side and pretty much just fuck everybody up. So they're literally taking away people's choices and their votes simultaneously. So I would highly suggest any of you out there that are thinking about voting in November, go get your shit squared away. Make sure your voting stuff is in check, so that way you can go cast your vote, however you decide to cast it. But yeah, that's that. Like I said, this week's been hectic, dealing with a lot of shit, and I got some car stuff, my bug and my bike, like I said before, trying to get all that squared away and just make sure it's all good before I leave. Yeah, I got some tires to fix on the bug. They're losing air for whatever reason, so I'm gonna have to go take care of that this week, which is another chore to add to my list. But we're gonna get that handled, and we're just gonna try to chill out because I don't want to have to fucking have a heart attack before I leave. But anyways, so I was watching on Sunday, at the beginning of this week or whatever you want to call it. I rewatched the Jake Paul fight that was on the Zone, and he labels himself as a pro boxer, right? This Jake Paul guy, he's fucking, everybody knows who he is. But the dude and I've never watched any of his other fights because it seems like all he does is fucking fight these like washed up turds. He was fighting this dude in the one I was just watching, which was on the second or the whatever it was, I forget the date. But he fought this guy Ryan Borland, and he finished him in the first round, and the fight was in Puerto Rico, so he's, you know, all repping Puerto Rico and all this shit. He was calling himself like the red chicken or something like that. I forget what it was. It was totally ridiculous and like super like what do you call that? What do they call that shit? It's cultural appropriation. You know what I'm saying? He comes out in like these crazy colors and this just like super wild outfit, and he has like it looks like a chicken, which is fucking insane because this dude's from like Florida or Ohio. Sorry, he's from Ohio, but he lived in Florida for a while. Now he lives in Puerto Rico. Like I don't know if it's full time or whatever, but the dude hasn't fought anyone legit. Like he fights these like quote pro boxers, but all of them are washed up, dude. Like these guys aren't active pro fighters. This guy Borland, he works on an oil rig in North Dakota, so he's not even like an active pro boxer. He just has his pro license basically. And I had never heard of him before, obviously, and I'm just thinking like, okay, who is this guy? Like let's kind of see what he's worth. And he stepped into the ring, and he's just fucking all out of shape. This dude had so much hair on his back, dude. Like he looked like he had a fucking, like he was wearing a mink coat or something. And he's just, you know, doesn't look an ounce of fit whatsoever. And it was kind of funny just watching the comparison of the two. You see Jake Paul, all he does is box. The dude's a fucking quadrillionaire. And he's shredded. He's in shape. He's worked out every single day. This dude probably just fucking tossed off his working helmet, got on a plane, and threw on some boxing gloves. It's not like he even probably had a camp for this fight. He was just in there kind of looking a little sloppy. And so he knocks this dude out in the first round. And then after the fight ends, they're interviewing, and he's talking crazy out his ass, dude. This dude's talking like crazy shit, and he calls the dude a sorry ass, and he had to put his ass on the canvas, and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and fucking calls out Canelo Alvarez, which we all know would never happen, dude. Canelo would fucking give this dude the business all over the place. And he's just running his fucking mouth talking about, oh, I want Canelo, but Canelo won't sign the contract and this and that. And he says, you know, I rep Puerto Rico and he reps Mexico, so it would be a Puerto Rico versus Mexico fight. And I don't know, the guy's just in his own fucking head. He's mental beyond mental if I've ever seen it. He just thinks he's the shit, but he fights these burnt out old ass dudes. And, you know, he's never going to get that Canelo fight. Not in his wildest fucking dreams. But on, I forget what day it was of the week. I don't really keep track of the days like that. But now he's fighting, he's slated to fight Mike Tyson, dude. Iron Mike Tyson. Okay, he's going to try to fucking go up against Mike Tyson, who is arguably one of the greatest boxers of all time. And those two are going to fight May 20th in Texas at the AT&T Stadium. And it's going to be, I guess it's going to be a live event on Netflix. So, you know, you've seen Mike Tyson's workout videos, dude. Homeboy is fucking beast mode, dude. Still at 57. Jake Paul's like fucking 26 or 27 or something like that. Okay, like once again, like I was saying, he fights these guys that are like way older than him and aren't active, like currently an active fighter. You know, if I think he needs to really get somebody that's top ranked, or not maybe top ranked, but somebody that's at least ranked in like WBO or whatever, and go head up with them, because I can guarantee this dude's gonna get put out. And I think if he doesn't negotiate the money with Tyson and make it like a paid to lose kind of situation, which I'm convinced it's going to be, Mike Tyson's going to fuck this guy up. And I really hope that he does. I hope Tyson just fucking goes off the handle and just beats the fucking shit out of this guy, because he really, really deserves it. I think that would be pretty fun to watch. And if it's live and it's free, I might just tune in and check it out, because that would be worth watching Jake Paul get his fucking face beat in, or at least get just knocked out on a nice body shot by Mike Tyson. That'd be sick. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the check might be good enough and Tyson falls flat on his face and, cashes out $50 million, or who knows what he's going to get paid for this one. But it's probably going to be a pretty fat paycheck. Speaking of fat paychecks, dude, Fannie Willis. I don't know if you guys know who that is or not. I kind of was dishing on this a little bit around work. So my peeps at work, some of you guys know what I'm talking about already. But for those that don't, she is the Fulton County District Attorney in Georgia. And she's overseeing the case that's alleging Donald Trump tried to overturn the state's 2020 election results. So this lady brings this case on Trump, and it's still active. And she has done more damage to herself than she's done to Trump, obviously. His mugshot got taken and all that shit. And she basically thought she had him thrown away, throw him in jail, toss away the key. You're done for kind of thing. And she has completely just fucking nosedived into the ground with every sense of that expression. This lady has lost her fucking mind. It's been unraveled. Like her hired lawyer, Nathan Wade, she was having sexual relations with that dude, and he was paying for all kinds of shit with taxpayer funds too, which is crazy, for like trips and vacations for the both of them. He used taxpayer money to go to the White House to meet with the Biden administration on how they're going to proceed to lock Trump up and all this stuff. But I think one of the funniest things out of this case, besides her story and just her outlook on the whole thing, is that they were going through her phone records, and they found that she had named the Bluetooth ID of her phone, which had to be typed in herself, as, no joke, you can look this up, Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. That dude is outrageous. So that's what she named herself, basically, was Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. This is the fucking district attorney in Georgia. Look her up. She was the one that's on the stand also with the dress on backwards. Like, she can't even dress herself at all. She's a total fucking mess. And she's probably going to be disqualified from this trial. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens with that. I think that the judge is still in limbo with that whole thing. Not entirely sure what's going to happen with that, but hopefully she gets the boot, because she's a real wild one, and she's reckless, and she just she's bad for business out there. So she does have competitors now that are stepping up to try to take her position from her in this upcoming election. So we'll see. She's probably going to get disqualified out of this trial, and if she doesn't, somebody got paid. That's all I'm saying. And speaking of paying for things, we all know the president pays for everything under the table everywhere in the world to cover up shit. And he had his State of the Union address this week, and it was, like I always say, I can't stand to see this dude honestly speak for more than at least 35 seconds at a time. It was too much. I don't watch that shit because he's all over the place. Goes and just flies off the handle, screams. So I watched the grotesque highlight reels of him shouting like a madman and fumbling his lines and just doing these like off the cuff rants and stuff everywhere. But the most interesting one, and really just kind of just bad for TV, parts of these little highlights, if you want to call them, or lowlights, or just him being a piece of shit, like I always say, would be him pronouncing Laken Riley, who I had discussed a couple episodes ago. For those that don't know, you can go back. I think it was episode like 8 or 9, whichever one. And you can kind of get the backstory on that, or just look it up. really a shitty situation out of Georgia that involved her and an illegal immigrant. So, anyways, he announces this or pronounces. He announces that he knows her name, and so he takes the pin up and pronounces her name as Lincoln Riley. Lincoln, not Lakin, Lincoln, like she's fucking Abraham Lincoln, dude. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this guy is all over the place. He can't read. This is frankly a point of that, him not being able to fucking read. And thank God her parents were there. They declined the invitation, as they should, to the State of the Union. And he just kind of just stuck his fucking foot in his mouth as well. He says that she was killed by an illegal. And then after that, dude, people were huffing and puffing and doing their thing. And then he goes, thousands of people have been killed by illegals during the speech. And I'm just like, oh my God. Well, thank you for saying that out loud. We all didn't know what the fuck was going on. So you just kind of just said it out loud. The guy was all over the place. Like I said, I just watched clips of the whole thing. But the worst part of this speech, besides him like demonizing half of the country basically, and doesn't really care or have any sympathy that the border's wide open or any of that other kind of shit, or anything that's important. He basically was just making a rally cry to his radical left allies and shit like that, and just kept spewing on about taking away guns and high capacity magazines and the same kind of shit that everybody on his side of the aisle loves to hear and gets them all hyped up and hard over. And I think the worst part though was there was a Gold Star father, Steve Nakui. I think that's how you say his last name. It's kind of a little bit of an odd spelling, but his son was Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, who was killed with the 12 others in that Afghanistan withdrawal, or should I say the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. He stood up in the chamber and shouted Abbey Gate, and he also shouted 13 Marines. So he stood up and shouted that at the president while he was speaking. This father had to watch as Biden basically was there at his son's dignified transfer and was caught multiple times looking at his watch. I'm sure everybody's heard about that when they were removing the soldiers from the aircraft and bringing them back home. Biden was busy checking out his watch for whatever reason that may be. But this guy, Steve Nakui, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, sorry, but he was removed from the House of Representatives chamber and arrested for doing this. So this guy not only was emotional during this whole State of the Union, Biden made no address towards the loss of military lives or anything like that. He had nothing to say but just bad shit about Republicans and everybody else that's basically not on his side the entire time. And it was it was very, very bad from all the pieces and parts that I watched. But Steve Nakui now is facing up to 5 years in jail for doing that, and that's fucking horrible, man. Like on top of losing his son in Afghanistan, his other son committed suicide at the memorial where the memorial was at that same year, which is horrible as well. But yeah, this is the kind of shit that happens. People are fed up, especially the family members of the servicemen and women that have died serving their country, for one, but unnecessarily. If it would have been planned out and executed as it was supposed to be, they probably would still be around. And it's unfortunate that happened. But another key little component to that whole State of the Union was more so the rebuttal that the Republicans decided to bring out. Was they brought out Senator Katie Britt. She's an Alabama senator. And, dude, this was the fucking worst rebuttal that they could have possibly done. She's sitting there, like, saying this speech, and, you know, she's on TV or whatever, just talking like a fucking snail. She's like, this year, we are in the driver's seat. It's like, bitch, we aren't in third grade. You don't have to read to us this speech like we're in third grade. We can't comprehend anything. There was no passion whatsoever coming from her. It was just these little crocodile tears, and it was a fucking wreck, dude. They fucked themselves on this speech as the rebuttal in so many ways. It was just this sappy little disappointing, shitty little speech. And after hearing Biden's whole thing on just his basic rally cry to all his freaks and weirdos out there, they could have had a way better speaker than Katie Britt. I think they were going on looks more than anything, because it was just such a slow rebuttal, and they completely missed the mark. They missed an opportunity for potential voters and, you know, the millions of voters that are gonna go and vote. Yeah, it was fucked. They should have basically took somebody else and put him in the driver's seat with that. Like Matt Gaetz or Vivek Ramaswamy would have been a good candidate for the rebuttal. But yeah, they kind of fucked themselves on that one. Definitely a missed opportunity. But I guess it was the following day, Congress passed the Laken Riley bill, which interesting. Which would require detention and deportation of illegal immigrants who have been caught committing a crime. 4 years too late, I would say, on that part, because, you know, they've just been pouring into the country over the border. And not to mention, it was found out during this week that the Biden administration has flown in over 320,000 immigrants into the country, just low key on airplanes all over the fucking states, dude. That's just to get their numbers from being like way inflated, because they're selling us on this whole thing. It's like, oh, the numbers are going down, and it's not true. Those numbers are going down because they're hiding the rest of them from everybody, and it's a fucking nightmare, dude. That border and just the shit that's happening because of it is insane. And the most insane part of this whole thing, after this whole meltdown at the State of the Union, Biden was on I forget which episode, or not episode, program it was, but he basically apologized to this guy, the guy that murdered Laken Riley, saying that it was wrong for him to have called him an illegal. And he said he should have said undocumented, and that it was wrong that he used the term illegal. Like, how much fucking ass are you gonna kiss, dude? Ass kissing to these people that don't give a fuck about anybody here. It's clear. It's clear. Clear as day. But, you know, that's how they roll, dude. These people are just all over the fucking place causing mayhem. And it's going to take a lot of repair work to straighten out the fucking shit show that has been the Biden administration. And it's going to be an interesting end to the year. Let's just say that. But let's see what else we got here. Oh, man. Last night, dude, we watched UFC. We're going to step right on into some other side shit besides the whole political scene shit right now. UFC 299. So legit. So legit. And my apologies to anybody that paid for that shit, because your boy didn't pay a dime. Totally watched the shit for free, which is badass. I got the shit. You guys got to tap in with me if you want to know what the details of it are, because this thing is a fucking game changer, dude. I'm talking about TV for days. If you want to know the details, man, shoot me a DM, an email, whatever you want, and I might let you in on a little bit of a secret. But dude, $2.99 was legit. Sean O'Malley and Cheeto Vera, man, that was a show right there, man. Sean O'Malley just fucking pieced his ass up. Didn't knock him out, didn't even knock him down, and served this dude probably one of the most violent knees directly to his face that I've ever seen in a fight. Like, period. Yeah, it was just a fucking master class, man. It looked like Sean O'Malley barely got touched. I mean, he got his nose bloodied pretty good, but other than that, man, compared to the other dude's face, homeboy's face just looked like he was like crucified or something, dude. Like, he was just fucked up. Eyes were swollen, nose was flat. He had cuts and bumps and bruises and scratches all over his mug, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But they had Michael Venom Page, MVP. He made his debut in UFC last night, and the dude was just a wiggle worm. Real unorthodox guy. Total wiggle worm, man. He didn't really engage with the other dude. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah, just would dance around and totally showboat everywhere, and kind of, I don't know, the dude's from the UK and just has this funky ass little style. He did a lot of running, and it was kind of annoying to see that, but his walkout entrance, dude, was pretty rad. He came out to the Undertaker theme song, and then it turned into like this fucking like club type music, and this dude took like 100 years to walk to the octagon. So that was kind of entertaining, but it kind of got old after him taking like 5 minutes to walk to the ring. So yeah, a bunch of other fights that were cool. Like I said, I watched this shit without paying money for it. Come and get me. But if you guys want to know how I did that, you guys got to tap in. Not letting the secrets out on the show live, or not live, I guess. When you guys hear this, you're not getting the damn secrets from me, dude. You got to come and get some shit from me. So hit me up if you want to know how that's done. Was looking at X today way earlier, and I'm sure by the time this show's out, the news is going to be covering it. But scumbag ass Madonna. Okay, let's talk about Madonna's stupid ass. I'm pretty sure she moved out of the U.S., but she was in L.A. Recently. I think it was as recently as last night or maybe Friday or whatever, for her stupid fucking tour, whatever it is. I'm a bitch tour or whatever. And she gets on stage, and she's in the middle of her fucking dumb concert, and she is talking to the crowd, and everybody's on their feet doing their, dancing around, and she singles out this person in the audience, and she walks to the edge of the stage, and they got the spotlight on her, and she goes, "What are you doing sitting down over there? What are you doing sitting down?" And she walks over towards like the whole like entire side of the stage, and sees the person's in a wheelchair. Yeah, and she just goes, "Oh, that's not politically correct." Well, no fucking shit, Madonna. Open up those big old fucking juvedermed and fucking piece of shit fucking eyebrows that you got attached to the top of your head. Look like a fucking cave woman. Have you seen this lady's fucking mugshot, dude? Disgusting looking. Her face looks like she got fucking stung by 100 bees. Just blown up and inflated. Disgusting. Madonna's a piece of trash, dude. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I can't fucking stand Madonna. She was a fox when she was younger. Everybody in the whole world knows that. But dude, now she looks like the fucking side of a Goodyear tire. Just fucking inflated and round and just disgusting. Ugh. What a fucking trash bag, dude. And it was funny because I wrote these notes when I first seen it a few hours ago. And then I was flipping on TV, and I was trying to watch a race, which I thought was going to be on air, but it was actually TMZ, and it was kind of a coincidental thing because right when I turned it on, TMZ was talking about, Eric Andre was on stage at the Madonna concert, and he flashed his ass on stage, and somebody spanked him, and Madonna's just the best performer ever, and she's just as good as she was back in the day. Well, Why didn't you guys bring up the fact that she was picking on somebody in a fucking wheelchair, dude? Why? Because it would be damning to hear Madonna, the superstar, singer, and performer, fucking singles out a person in the fucking audience, for crying out loud, and asks them why they're sitting down. Points them out and stops what she's doing to go and try to talk shit to somebody, only to realize that they're in a fucking wheelchair. And she goes, "Oh, that's not politically correct. Sorry." Somebody should have rushed the stage and just fucking Will Smith, fucking Chris Rock slapped the fucking taste out of her mouth after that one. That should have happened to Madonna, because that is some scumbag shit. Regardless of somebody standing up, sitting down, fucking laying down on the floor, doing push-ups, doing fucking handstand, whatever, they're paying all that money to come and see you, and then you do some piece of shit move like that, single them out, only to find out they're in a wheelchair. Would somebody please explain to me why that's okay and why she won't catch any flack for that? I'm sure everybody will come to her rescue and be like, "Oh, well, she didn't know the lights were in her eyes," or some bullshit like that. Some fucking stupid-ass excuse. But her ass needs to get flamed up for that. So I hope people just start making waves and fucking calling her out for being a fucking cunt. Because that's all that is. That's just plain fucking stupidity, man. These people are a fan regardless. They shouldn't be picked on. Like, people that go after their fans, like fucking bitch-ass James Hetfield from Metallica, and fucking what's her face? Who did that shit just recently too? It wasn't Avril Lavigne. It was somebody else that was talking shit to the people in the crowd in front of him. It's like, dude, I wish I had a bottle right now, because it would be flying up on stage. Like, even if I paid $500 for a ticket, you single somebody out that I know, I'm throwing the fucking bottle at you. I'm going to get every penny's worth. And then I'm just going to fucking dash out into the crowd and fucking run away. That's exactly what would happen. That's the most, oh, God. God, that fucking boils my blood, dude. What a piece of shit. Speaking of pieces of shit, dude, Bianca Censori, Kanye's fucking old lady, dude. Wow. What a travesty. What a travesty. God damn, dude. Kanye treats her like a fucking whore, if I've ever seen one before. This lady, okay, she used to be an architect. She's got a bachelor's and a master's degree in architecture from the University of Melbourne in Australia. So she's Australian. She has like these little accolades and stuff, and apparently she's worked at Yeezy since 2020. So here's the thing. Ye, as he's affectionately known now, he's not Kanye. He's just Ye, Yeezy, Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call him. The dude's like 46, 47, 48, whatever, and she's like around 28, 29. So there's a pretty substantial age gap in there. But every single time there's a story that has to do with the two of them, this bitch is basically butt-ass naked. Every single time she's out and about. Whole ass boobs, whole ass vagina, out in the wind whistling through everything. Like, she wears these damn, might as well just be a fucking saran wrap around her body parts. Like, there's no dignity when it comes to her dressing, and I can't believe like she goes out in half the shit that she does. She basically just wore fucking a damn piece of cloth like over herself the other day, and just everything was hanging out, like completely sheer. Leave nothing to the imagination, dude. Like, everything was out. How do you go out in public like that? Like, how would you have your significant other or whatever dressing like that? Like, so disrespectful, dude. Like, Kanye is a fucking weirdo. Kanye is a weirdo. Yeah, he's talented, whatever. But just like the shit that they've done together, it's been gross, dude. Like I said, they go out in public and he wears like some fucking Superman muscle shirt or like shoulder pads or whatever the fuck he puts on, and these like obnoxiously huge boots, and just her fucking titties are just flopping around in the wind everywhere, and you know, no type of clothing on. She wears like a piece of dental floss that goes from her right shoulder down to her left hip, and that's about it. That's her whole outfit. And it's just nuts to see, dude, like how the fuck these two coexist. Like, hey, what should I wear tonight? Like a button down and some, denim pants would be cool. What should I wear tonight? How about some fucking thread from like a shirt that you have? Just pull a piece off and just tape it to your chest, but just walk outside butt ass naked. That'd be awesome. It would look hot, and we could just go to dinner together. Like, what the fuck? Like, how do they get into places like that? It's insane. And it's the same thing that goes when they were busted in Venice, Italy, on the boat. They took another person with them, and they basically stood in front of in front of the view of the driver as they were in the back, and she was fucking sucking him up, dude. Like, that's insane. In public, dude. They're fucking floating down the damn channelways in Venice, and she's like totally just blowing this fool in the back of the boat. And they try to make it all inconspicuous and shit, like oh yeah, I guess she's just been tying his shoes for 45 minutes. She just learned the loop, swoop, and pull technique. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, they do some wild shit, and it's always documented. Somebody's got a picture, somebody's got a video, and it's just like, dude, when are you guys going to get burned out of this? Like, how do you just sustain that type of a relationship? It's fucking crazy, man. I don't get it. I don't think I ever will. But hey, that's Kanye for you, man. He can do no wrong in certain people's eyes. And then he says the Jews run Hollywood, and they're there to burn him. Everybody in Hollywood wants to burn him. So, yeah, who knows, dude? Hollywood is Hollywood. And Hollywood tonight, baby, was at the Oscars. The fucking gathering of the liberals and cucks, dude. Totally just all hanging out together. Probably fucking jerking each other off under the table. Jimmy Kimmel's nasty ass was the host. I didn't watch it. I can't stand to watch any of that shit. But I had one post come through just shortly before I started recording. And dumbass Jimmy Kimmel was on stage. And he decided to read one of Trump's Truth Social posts because he's, given the play-by-play on Truth Social. I don't even have a Truth Social account. Maybe I should jump on there. So we'll see about that. But yeah, he's on stage and he's like, "Oh, I got a message or whatever." And so he pulls it up and he starts reading it out loud to everybody in the audience, and it's basically Trump just shitting on him, basically. Pretty funny shit. Trump was banging on him, and then he goes, "Oh, isn't it past your jail time?" Like, okay, that was a funny joke, buddy. You're the same motherfucker that was crying on TV talking about your kid has a fucking heart defect and you're pushing the COVID vaccine on everybody. That's why they need to get it, because it could save your kid's life. Fuck you, Jimmy Kimmel. How about that? I've always said that. Can't stand the dude. He's a scumbag, just like everybody else in Hollywood. Man, it's just been off the fucking rocker, dude. Plus, you got Ryan Garcia talking about fucking Hollywood and the shit that they do. The fucking Bohemian Grove, dude. How about that? This shit is coming out. And it's not like I'm the first person to talk about it. It's been known for fucking 50 years now, dude. All the freaks that go up to San Francisco and try to fucking molest and rape and kill children up there. Kidnap them and do freaky shit. Ryan Garcia, they thought was tripping when he was talking about Bohemian Grove. They're probably going to come after him. Look it up. Bohemian Grove. It's in Frisco. That was nuts, dude. The shit that they do up there is all tied into some satanic cult bullshit. And they're one and the same up there. Selling their fucking souls and doing some wild ass shit, like I always say. Yeah, it's just a shame how exploited some of these kids are in Hollywood. And everybody kind of doesn't really speak on it, but you have Drake Bell from Drake and Josh coming out saying he was molested and touched and all that shit just recently this last week too. And it's all the same. We were watching a documentary, a real quick one on YouTube, and it was about Dan Schneider, the dude that was writing all the hit shows back for Nickelodeon in the 90s. And he no longer works with Nickelodeon, but he was the head honcho for all those shows that we used to watch as kids. And it just kind of showed you how much of a freak he was in reality. And like I was saying, when you're watching those kids type shows as a kid, you don't notice anything because that's that innocent part of being a kid. You're not privy to any of that kind of shit until you're older or you're exposed to that kind of stuff, and then you kind of catch on. But yeah, it was definitely a little sight to see, man, how just disgusting this guy was. He's 500 million pounds, has this dorky ass fucking bowl haircut, and just looks like a straight up pervert. Like, if you were to just close your eyes and think pervert, that's exactly what he would look like. Look it up on YouTube. I can't remember the channel name. I think it was BJ Investigates or something like that. It's this chick talking about it. It's like 20 some odd minutes long, but she just kind of goes through and tells everybody about how he had an obsession with feet, and just it was in all of the shows that he was the executive producer, the director, and all this other shit. It was a very uncomfortable thing to watch, but it just lets you know, like, the shit that some of these guys in Hollywood are talking about, it's not necessarily deemed to be crazy. I don't think. Like, I think it's all tied in. And it's just going to be the first one that really is like a blockbuster name that says something that doesn't get killed or quieted off or paid off by somebody, that is going to just unravel this whole shit. And yeah, the child trafficking side of shit is for real. It's very real. And maybe I might get into a little bit of the historical aspects of this shit maybe next episode when I have a little bit of time. This week's just been super busy for me, and trying to get ahead of the game before I go on my next trip. So this week I was tied up doing a bunch of stuff and just tried to let off the gas more or less this weekend, and try to just be more present, I guess. But yeah, we'll see how this next week goes. Who knows, man? Who knows anymore? I love doing this show because it's always something different throughout the weeks. It's always me talking my shit, and if you're enjoying it, like I say, I appreciate everybody that listens to the show, that takes the time out of their week or their day or their night to have a listen and join me on the adventures that are the Digital Demons podcast, man. I love all you guys, and I appreciate everybody for hanging in there and listening, even though I do talk about some crazy shit sometimes. But I think that's going to be it for this week. I don't really have too much more to say on any of this stuff going on. But yeah, if you're a new listener to the show, welcome. If you are interested in listening to this podcast anywhere, as always, it's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming services. You guys can add me on Instagram at digital_demons_podcast. I am also on YouTube. You can look me up there, Digital Demons Podcast. I'm going to be on X. You know what, dude? I just got to start tweeting, or Xing, or whatever it is on there. But you can add me, start following me, so that way you guys can kind of see if I decide to do a tweet or not. I literally just get so locked in on that search bar. Like, not the search bar necessarily, but just the search feature, and it just brings up a bunch of crazy shit. But on X, I'm on X, Digital Demons Pod, DGITLDMNSPOD, Digital Demons Pod on X. And if you guys have any suggestions, or if you guys would like me to riff on a certain subject or whatever you guys want, you guys can email me at digitaldemonspodcast@gmail.com. And like I say every single week, thank you to everybody that's been showing love to the show wherever you are at in the world, because we got some worldwide listeners now. I am grateful for everybody, and make sure you guys are staying out of trouble. Keep everybody that you know safe. Hug onto those loved ones. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.